Where the hell's my camera? What the hell? Hold on. Desi here. Huh. Hold on here, folks. Where art thou? We good? There we are. I'll do it. I'll do it. I will do it. If there's ever a day, today's the day. Man. Man, oh man. One of those days, man. One of those weeks. Gotta be one of the bad. Not, I can't say it's a bad week in terms of loss, but one of the just total misses. One of the biggest misses in a long time. How do you guys do? I felt like I was on top of it. I felt like I was on top of it. But just did not have the right timing. So close. I didn't do anything after, Mikey. I walked away, man. I decided to get off the computer. Relax, refresh. And then I'm driving home, going however fast in the Porsche, look at my phone, and bam, there it was. So I wanted to get on here, talk a little bit about it, go over some levels, go over what happened today, and sort of break down sort of what went wrong for me, but also what we can look forward to, because there's definitely some stuff to look forward to. So let's do it. Not planning to be here all night, but let's do a little bit of, review, and just here we go. So S&P. Actually, you know what? I got to check something real quick. Hold on, guys. Uno. 1 second. April 6th. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So, S&P 500. S&P 500. This is a important break. This is important. This is the first sort of crack in the foundation, right? This feels like the first crack in foundation pretty much since the beginning of the year. And here's why. I'm just going to sort of break this down with our stair-stepping sort of patterns that we look at. And you will notice that there is a change in behavior, a change in pattern here. So, since pretty much the beginning of the year, right, we have created higher lows at every single point. Higher lows, higher highs at every single point. And we've never cracked below a previous low, right? So you have 1, right? 1, 2. You can call this 3. 4, and the recent one was 5. We have never went from a low. We never had a break underneath it after the hold, right? Hold, more highs. Hold, more highs. Hold, break. This is the first break that we have witnessed of a structural move higher on the market. So this is sort of what I saw on the NASDAQ on Tuesday, right? And this is why I was entering puts on Tuesday. I saw this on the NASDAQ on Tuesday, and I positioned myself aggressively for downside. And there was still more fake outs to be had, right? There were still more fake outs to be had. I'm looking at the tequila saying that. So it's a matter of timing, right? It's a matter of timing. Timing was incorrect, and that S&P needed a little bit more fake out to get the drop, right? A little bit more fake out to get the drop. 3 has a crack. Where? Where's 3? 1, 2, 3. We never cracked on 3. 4. We never cracked any of these. Right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. This is the first crack. So, I'll go over to the NASDAQ and talk about why I saw the crack on the NASDAQ and why I went for the short side. So this is important, right? Because now, what could potentially start to happen on this S&P? We could start to see the lower highs start to come in, right? Without a doubt, tomorrow is going to be difficult, okay? Because there is probably going to be an attempt back here, right? There should be an attempt back here. There should be an attempt back here, right? There should be a move higher back into this 5250 area at some point, right? This is where you're going to want to attack the re-short, right? Because that would be the sign of a higher or a lower high right here. That's where you really want to attack it. You don't quite want to attack it as aggressively into this, right? That's going to be the danger zone. This is going to be the dangerous thing. We really don't want to attack the short side into this. We don't want to get caught up in that potential demand hold around that 5170, right? That could be the next sort of, oh, I went short and oh my God, it's back up in my face, right? That's the next tequila time if that happens to you. You don't want that to happen to you, especially after this drop today, right? Because that's going to be an aggressive pop back higher if this market has any last, right, sort of willingness to bounce. Where you're really going to want to attack this is at the previous highs, that FOMC low, and the break today, the big break today at 5250, 5235 area, right? That's going to be where you're going to want to attack it, right in this zone right here, right? After we broke that daily 20 today, this is already very quick downside, but really it was this zone right here on the ES. After breaking that, right, it was gone, right? It was gone. After the 20 SMA, after this 5250, which was that hold level, that daily 20, which also lines up with this right here. If I go to the hourly chart, you can see this, right? So this is going to be interesting, right? Because you see the lows here, risk reward, right? Risk reward is a little bit difficult for short sides into the 5170. That might be a little bit difficult, right? So what we want to see tomorrow, what you'd love to see tomorrow, is for the market to close tomorrow on some shitty, weak upside, right? We'd love to see the market close tomorrow on some really low volume, sort of shitty upside into this 5250. That would be the perfect move to nail the short again right there. That's what I hope I see tomorrow. Right? I hope we don't see a gap down. I hope we don't see, further downside. I would hope to see a little pre-market gap up, right? Towards maybe this 5250 area, possibly even towards like this 5235. 5235 also a good level to watch. Sort of that FOMC low, right? Right here. See this? So you want to see a little gap up tomorrow into that 5335, into that 5350, get a retest of these previous lows, and then see if we can attack it again. All right? That's what we want to see. JK, I don't know, man, not the time, okay? The first time in the live stream, you're blowing up the chat with things you're predicting what's going to happen. That's not how we roll here, okay? So, not the time, not today. Okay? Watch the live stream. You can give some input. You don't know what's going to happen for sure. I can guarantee you that. Unless you made $1 million today shorting because you knew it was going to happen, don't talk. All right. Let's continue. 5170, that's the demand, right? Very important there. Let's watch that. Guys, I didn't start this live stream for the chat to be Nostradamus today, okay? I did not come on live stream for Nostradamuses to enter the chat, okay? Let's review the charts. Let's watch what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's prepare for it, and let's attack it, right? We're not Nostradamus in the chat. All right. So 5170, right? Big level there. And then 5250. Big level there. All right. SPY. What an awesome 524 rejection. What an awesome 524 rejection today. You can't really say much about, that was just perfection. So you can see right here, that 524. We came back higher into that 524, and bam. Bam, bam, bam. 524. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful 524 level on the SPY. Perfect pop back into that supply. Perfect pop back into that high from FOMC. And that is when the downside started to creep in, right? Look at how perfect this was. Today, you can see right here, 524, right? See how we pushed into that, rejected, tried it again, rejected. We started to fail at that 524, and that was perfectly, right there. Right at that previous high on the SPY. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. No matter, right? I don't care what caused this downside. I don't care if it's the Fed president saying that rates won't be cut. I don't care if it's something to do with, oil, a war, whatever it is. I don't care about that. What I care and what I can catch, what I can use to predict these moves and potentially trade on them in the future is technical levels. And it sure as hell reacted at a technical level, right? There's no doubt about it. So if you came into today saying, hey, I'm going to look for the retest of this supply, right? I'm going to go ahead and look to see if SPY pushes back up in the 524 today and look to play that short, you nailed the whole thing, right? Because you were trading off that technical level, right? That's beautiful. I didn't do that, right? That wasn't part of my plan. That's something I could have done. I didn't, and that's why I didn't catch this. So 524, I'm sure there was plenty of traders out there today that said, hey, I'm going to look to see if 524 starts to reject today. I saw this as a high back on FOMC, and I'm going to look to see if we creep into that supply again. And if that rejection comes in, I'm going to play this short, right, with maybe a stop loss over that 524. That was a very valid idea on the technical analysis today, right? Very valid idea there. And you can see a short off 524 today never was in any drawdown and became probably one of the best short opportunities in a very long time. So that was beautiful. 515. Big break, right? This is going to be a level to watch moving forward. 515. So tomorrow, what you'd like to see is 515. And we just got futures open. Futures opens at 6 o'clock. So we just saw futures open right now. We'll take a pop into the ES in a second. 515 was this low before FOMC, right? This was this high and this high right here, right? 515, 515, and 515. So what we want to look for tomorrow is, hey, do we pop back into 515? What happens at 515, right? If we pop back into this low right here, do we see that rejection step in? That could be something we definitely want to watch tomorrow. I think what we also want to watch tomorrow is, if you guys remember, that 518 level that we were talking about, that's also a level that I think should be on our watch. So right here, we had that little 518 level. Let me go ahead and put that on our charts here. 518, 518, right? We have 518 here, 518 here. And after that 518 break, right, we saw that really aggressive downside come in. So tomorrow there's two levels that I would look to see if we pop and reject. I would look to see if we pop into 515, or I would look to see if we can pop into the 518. If we can pop into the 518, or the, near that daily 20 SMA, this would be another great spot to look for that sort of that re-entry short, right? So 518, right, and 515 are two levels that I'm going to be watching. That's that previous low from here on Wednesday that we cracked below today, and that daily 20 SMA, and then this is that 515, which is right there, right? So two levels on the SPY to watch tomorrow for those pops, and we want to see what happens at those levels. 515, 518. Yeah, if we can push back into that daily 20, right, that could be a nice re-short. Where I think the SPY should come down to overall, right, if we zoom out and look at this chart, where do I think the SPY should come down to? It's right here. This is where the real next support is, right here around 508, right? This is where you probably will end up seeing the SPY come down to. Not sure it's tomorrow, not sure when, but that is, if we do get those re-entry shorts, I would assume the SPY wants to come back down to these demands right here, right? This hold, and this hold was 508. That looks like it would complete the move, right? That looks like it would complete this move. Back to this 508. Look to see what happens there. So that is the ultimate, I'd say, downside target on the ES or on the SPY at that 508 level, which is right here, right here, right here. Okay? That's what I'd be watching. Back to that chart here. 515, 518, two pops and rejections I'd be watching. 508, your next major demand. Let's go NASDAQ. So here is what got me this week. All right? Here's what got me. I was focused on this, right in here, this 18,420. I was focused this week on the break under this structure right here. So this week, right, last week, we traded within this sort of channel right here between 18,625 and that 18,420. We held that daily 20. We held that daily 20, right? On Tuesday of this week, we had a break in the structure point right here. We broke under that 18,420 right here on Tuesday, right? That caused me to believe it was basically this move on the SPY, right? How we broke that structure point, what we talked about in the beginning of the stream. I figured that if we broke under this 18,420, right, we could have a little pop back higher, but we would ultimately reject the retest of 18,420. We did not. We got a little bit higher, right? We sort of squeezed back above, back up into that channel high, that 18,625. Ultimately, right, you can see that break in that 18,420 was really sort of that crack in the system, the crack in the move that happened on Tuesday. Just this move right here, guys. This move is what really got me out and gave me sort of that loss of confidence in my game plan from Tuesday into today. This was the move right here that caused me to lose this week. Timing was off, I guess, right? Maybe game plan was too early, but this break on Tuesday under this 18,420 is what got me in puts. Looking for a retest of that 420 level to reject, we went higher, right? I did not expect us to get back above, right? I did not expect us to get back above right here after breaking this. So you can see right here, right? We had a channel. See this channel that we were trading in? We were trading in this channel all last week. On Tuesday, we broke it, right? So I saw, hey, break in structure. This is big. This is a big break. Very important break. We popped back higher on Wednesday, and we sort of rejected it end of day. And I said on Wednesday to the group, I was like, hey, this is looking really good. We had a pop back into our retest. We're starting to reject it. Wednesday, end of day, we closed below it, and we started to see that weakness come in. Today, we popped back up, right, held above it, and I said, okay, my plan is no longer valid. I have to exit, right? My plan is no longer valid. I did not want to see us get back above this 18,420. This is where I wanted to see us sort of bear flag and drop back lower. That was my game plan. But we got back above, we held above, and I got stopped, right? That's sort of how I lost on this. Today, right back below it. So moving forward, let's zoom out, right? The big level below that I would be paying attention to now is right in here, around this 18,020. That looks to be the very major low to be watching, right? Right here, right here, right here, right here. That 18,020 area that we sort of moved down into today is the big level to be watching. This is going to make it difficult on the short side tomorrow, in my opinion, right? I think this is going to be a difficult short into this 18,000 area. You have a lot of previous highs, and you have this previous low right here from March 15th that we need to be careful of that little dead cat bounce, right? Friday, tomorrow, could just be a little dead cat bounce move, right? We could just get a little dead cat bounce move. That could be all tomorrow. The whole day tomorrow could just be a sort of a shitty, slow grinding dead cat bounce move off this 18,000 level, right? The levels that I would be watching to see if they turn into rejections would be some of these previous lows. I would be watching sort of this 50 SMA, this 18,230 area, 18,200, 18,230. I'm going to look to see if this level right here turns back into a rejection point. You can see right here, this little low. I'm going to look to see if we pop back into that. Do we get a failure of that move, right? Do we get a failure at that 50? Do we get a failure at Tuesday's lows, at Wednesday's lows? If we pop, is the dead cat, right, sort of move back into that 18,200? Is that the level that we need to look to reshort tomorrow at the 18.2? So that's what I'm going to be watching tomorrow. But I definitely am going to protect myself tomorrow, because if we hold that 18K, 1810, right, that's not going to be a level that you're going to want to be short into, right? You're not going to want to be short into that low that we could hold and sort of dead cat off of, all right? QQQ, this is going to be big, and you guys likely know about this level. We've talked about this level in the past. Let me go ahead and turn off. This is so clean. Look at this. 447, 447.50. Bam, 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 bam. And today, bam. Such a clean supply today. Awesome sort of grind back into that supply. And what a beautiful supply rejection it was. No matter if it was a Fed president, no matter if it was whatever it could be. If the cow jumped over the moon, finally, I don't care what it was, right? This is a very clean and structured place to set up a short on the Qs. And it worked out beautifully, right? Structured move, structured supply, previous supply, major rejections there previously. And if someone said today, hey, I'm going to set up a short on the Qs at that 447 and I'm going to stop over these highs here, you caught it, right? You caught it nicely. So if I go back to the 4-hour chart, there's something that you need to be watching. And it is the gap up that occurred on Nvidia earnings, right? Right here. Nvidia earnings had a gap up right there. This is back on February 21st, right? We had a gap up on the Qs on February 21st at that right between like that 425 and 433.70 level, right? So we have that hold that's been sort of holding up this market, right? This QQQ has overall just been trading in this channel. If we break that channel low, there's going to be sexual action, okay? I can't say what I want to say. We got to start streaming on Twitch or something, man. There's going to be some sexual action if we start dive bombing into this gap fill on Nvidia, the Nvidia earnings, right? Let's go into the hourly chart. And let me get some more time here. So right here, you guys can see, right? You had this low. You had this low here. You had these lows here. I might actually move this down a little bit. 443. Let's just play safe, right? 443. Low, 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 and low, right? Very clear. Under that 443, what do you got? You got a big gap. So tomorrow, if we fail under that 443, right? Or next week, whatever you want to, whenever this happens, if you start to see the 443 level failing, this is going to be your next big shot, guys, right here. Under that 443, you got a gap fill. That is something that I would be focused on this week into next week, okay? This is a must-watch level here on the Qs, guys. Under that 443 is going to be very important. So keep an eye on that. On the flip side, right? On the flip side, what else do you have to be careful of? Right? On the flip side, you have to be careful of this, right? What did I say? Did I not say 433? What did I say? What did I say? Whatever I said, guys, you see it on the charts right here. All right? Look at the chart. 433. What you have to be careful of tomorrow is that little grinder, right? That little grinder to be careful of. All right, that little push back to the upside, that sort of next day after a drama-filled downside, right? We got to be careful of sort of that right? That little sort of grind higher that could take out some shorts or sort of, shorts covering into end of week. That's possible, and you want to be careful at that 433 level, okay? That's something you need to be aware of and something to be cautious of before, balls to the wall shorting tomorrow. That 433 level is going to be big. That's that. What did Dow do? Oh, I don't want to look. I don't want to look. Yep. It did it. What did we talk about this morning on the live stream? What did we talk about this morning on the live stream? Hold on. Someone messaged me on Instagram about it, actually. Where is it? Someone messaged me about the Dow. Oh, here he is. Barrett. Barrett. You on the live stream, Barrett? Look what Barrett messaged me. I'm going to take a screenshot. Shout out Barrett. Barrett Cook. Here it is. 4 hour looks juicy for a short on YM. Shout out Barrett. It sure as hell was. This is what we were talking about on the Daniel Jones, the Mike Jones, the Indiana Jones this morning. If you guys don't come to the live streams, you won't get that. 1, 2, 3, break, retest. Oh, man. Beauty. So, nice example there, guys. This is that break in structure, right? This is sort of what we look for. This is what we're talking about on the ES, right? See how this is exactly what we're talking about on the ES here. This break in structure right here, retest short, right? Look at how similar. Let's take a screenshot of that. I'm going to take a quick screenshot. All right, we got the screenshot there. Now we're going to go to the YM, right? Right here, YM. Let's pull up the screenshot. Okay, we got the screenshot pulled up. All right, so look at these two charts. Top is YM, bottom's ES. So YM, right here, break in structure on Tuesday, break of these highs, high, high, low, break of that high, high, and low, break of that structure point, like what we did today on ES. The Dow Jones is sort of ahead of the downside. This is literally telling the future of what could happen here on the ES. Break on Tuesday, retest of the breakout point, which is right here, right? Previous highs. Look at that rejection today. Look at the sort of shitty upside over the last few days back into that retest level. And look at this, right? That's exactly what we're looking for on the ES to reshort it. All right, we're looking for this little upside move that looks just like this. Right? Look at they're identical. One's just ahead. They are identical, but one is ahead. All right. Oh, I thought, okay, never mind. So that's what we're looking for, right? That's what we're looking for. This is on the Dow. Beautiful, man. Beautiful Dow. Beautiful sort of structure. Break and retest move there. Love it. Now we got to be careful of that 38.9. That's that low. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys there. Russell, pop back into that high. Rejected. We're back into this demand low. All right. That was 20 minutes of futures. Let's get into some stocks. Tesla gave back everything today. Crazy. Wow, it closed over 170 though. Huh. So we had that crazy strong move on Tesla today. It did close over 170 though, which is very interesting. All right, you can see right there, 170. We had that break over 170. We pulled back. We held it. We held 170. That's key. Not sure I'm going to be longing Tesla tomorrow because of a 170 hold, but that would be something you want to watch on Tesla into the future here, 170. So let's watch that 170. Yeah, I'm not too fond of Tesla, honestly. Nvidia. Now this hurts. This is why I'm not actually taking the shot, okay? I'm just getting the bell going here. This right here is what hurts the most for me this week. Because technically, I should not have sold this short that I had on Nvidia. Technically, in terms of my plan, I did not have a reason to sell Nvidia. I wanted to see Nvidia stay under 905, right? We were creating a bear flag on Nvidia the entire week, right? Into that 905 level. I should not have sold my position. Right? You can see right here, 905, 905, daily 20 SMA rejection, 20 SMA rejection, 905 rejections. That was the level that I should have held Nvidia on. Yeah, I know, Michael. Trust me. I know, man. You don't have to tell me twice. Okay? Me and Michael, who's chasing cars in the Discord, if you guys are not familiar, we're looking for Nvidia to go to 850 pretty much since Tuesday. And, you know, this is me just being open with you guys, right? I could hide this, okay? I could say to everyone that I'm in Nvidia puts. I held them. I made $10 million today. You don't get this type of interaction with people on a normal basis online, okay? You don't get this type of what could I done better? I should have done this. You don't get it, okay? And so it's very easy to come here and tell me what I could have done. But that's only because I'm telling you the honest truth. Okay, so what I could have done, what I should have done, I should not have exited my Nvidia puts under 905, no matter how much drawdown I was in, right? It got too far away from me, and the NASDAQ got me out of it, right? The NASDAQ got me out of it. I didn't like that the NASDAQ was pushing higher again. I didn't like that the NASDAQ broke my plan. So I said to myself, hey, the NASDAQ has completely broken your plan. Get out of your positions and just accept that you're wrong. And that took me away from the mindset that I should have just stayed in Nvidia under 905, right? That NASDAQ faked me out. The NASDAQ strength this morning, the news that popped us higher, all that sort of bullish action over the last few days got me out of a game plan that I should not have gotten out of, right? And so I was looking for this to set up, right? And the bear flag, I mean, my God, is that a beauty? My goodness, is that a beauty? You just can't beat that, right? You can't beat it. That's a beautiful short. That's such a structured bear flag. And it took that market action today to just dive bomb this thing. You guys know we were talking about, right, that 850, that 850 come back to 850, and that is exactly what Nvidia has done. So this one hurts, right? That one hurts. That's the tequila bell one right there for me. So learn from it, right? What do I talk about on this stream all the time? And what has gotten me to be a profitable trader? I trust my plan. I trust my plan. I trust my levels. I do not deviate from it no matter how much I'm down. If my plan is to stay short under 905, I'm staying short, right? And if I would have done that same thing, which I always do, which has gotten me to the point that I am as a trader, I would have had an absolute monster day on Nvidia, right? Monstrous. It would have been probably about a $20,000, $30,000 day. That was sort of the position I was in, right? The only downside, right, is that I probably would have been down about 10K on Nvidia alone if I would have held through it. So, you know, it's just one of those things. It's trading, man. It's trading. So, hey, we learned from it. But if I trusted my plan at 905 and that bear flag, man, would have this been sexy. But tomorrow, right, what are we watching tomorrow now? This is where it gets difficult, right? This is where it gets tricky. Because now you definitely need to be careful entering Nvidia shorts at 850. No doubt about it, right? That short, for me, in my eyes, is sort of over, right? Because that's a big 850. That's a big 850, and that's a monstrous 850, right? You can definitely see 850 as a defense level on Nvidia. So be careful there tomorrow, guys. 850, you don't really want to mess around with that level there tomorrow. Could definitely sort of give this thing a little bit of a pop back higher into end of week, and maybe we look to reshort, but 850 is going to be your level. If we do get a move below it, though, right, that's when we can really start to get aggressive here. If we get a very, very clean 850 hold underneath, look at all these levels down here on Nvidia that are just so far gone. This is guys, these levels aren't even old. This is beginning of the year. Like, look at all these lines down here, and it's only 2 months ago. So if you get under 850 though, guys, right, that's gonna be our watch. That's gonna be our watch. The reshort's sort of tough, right? The reshort's sort of tough now because you're at every point in the future, you're gonna be reshorting back into 850. At every point in the future here now, you're going to be reshorting back into 850. Maybe a little bit of 890 action there. possibly this 875 low right here. You got to you're going to have to feel this one out. Maybe it could be this 875, right? It could be this low here at 883. It could be back at these lows around this 892, right? 892 was really the big breakdown point today, right? That was where we held intraday, and that was the big breakdown point. See this intraday today? 892. See this, right? That was really the big level, 892. So it might get a little difficult, right? Because any reshort you take at this point on Nvidia is shorting back into 850, which is going to be slightly difficult and might be a little bit sweaty down there. So 850 is really going to be the level. TSM, I'm not going to go over TSM. AMD, this thing got absolutely annihilated today. And where did it come off of? The exact level, that 842 level. Or sorry, the 842. The 184 level. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous level right there. Bam, bam. All the last few weeks, last month, bam. 184 today, right? Popped back into that 184 level. And the reckoning day came for AMD at that 184. What a beautiful fade off that supply level today. This thing got smacked pretty much right after open. After the break of that 174 low, which is like right in here. After a break of that 174 low, it was pretty much game over for AMD there. But what do you have to be careful of now? Right? Where do you want to reshort AMD? You want to reshort AMD here. That's where you really want to reshort AMD, is at 174. A retest of that channel low is where you want that reshort entry on AMD. If we look at this 4-hour chart, right, this 165 definitely has some support. Anywhere between 165 and around 160 is definitely a big support area. And not going to be a level that you're going to want to battle with too much here, right? Look at this whole 5-point range on AMD between 165 and 160. So be careful into that 165, 160 tomorrow. That's going to be an important demand level. You really want to get that pop back higher before you start attacking that thing. Microsoft failed that high like a beast. Yeah, we got that pop back into that supply high at that 429. Big rejection there. You're back at that 419 level. I would actually be watching tomorrow 419. Let's see if 419 fails tomorrow right here on Microsoft. It's actually failing as we speak in the after hours. Look at this. 419. 419. Look at this right here. Let's zoom in on this. 419. 419. Look at that. That's a big watch tomorrow right there on Microsoft. If we cannot get back above 419 tomorrow and we fail that daily 20, that's a big watch. So let's watch that 419 tomorrow on Microsoft. Here's a big one. Oh, and it's dying after hours. I knew it would. Here's a big one. You guys remember us talking about Google getting back under that 153? Oh, man. Armin remembers. Yeah, Armin remembers. Yeah, another nice one. 147. That 153 fail. We were talking about it on the live stream saying, hey, if Google gets back under this 153 high, it could get ugly. And it's definitely getting ugly here. It's getting real ugly here in the after hours. So you're going to, for the new short guys, right, the people that want to reshort this thing, you're really going to want to see that 153 retest, to be quite honest. But Google's probably going to see a fade back towards this 147. I would expect Google to be fading towards this low, right? There's really nothing here to make me believe that Google's holding up. If you're short Google right now, I would say your target's 147 with confidence, right? With confidence. 147, and that 20 SMA, that's definitely the target. So if we get a little pop tomorrow Let's see if that 153 fade comes in. That could be a thing of beauty right there. Create that little bear flag action, right? Back to the upside, and then fade this thing back off 153. Nice watch right there on Google if we can get it. Coin. Back under that 20 SMA. I don't really, pretty ugly there on coin. I'm not going to go over that one. SMCI, yeah. Let's watch that 950 tomorrow on SMCI. Ever since we retested that 1080, man, SMCI stayed weak. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that 950 level tomorrow on SMCI. 1080. We never got above it. You guys remember my short on SMCI that I made a bunch of money on? It was after we failed that 1080 level, right? Big drop. 1080. We failed it. We failed it. If we get under this 950 tomorrow on SMCI, this is sort of going to be your next move lower. So 950 SMCI, big watch there tomorrow. All right. I'm not going to go over everything here, guys. It's go over the big ones. Apple back under 170. We just went over AMD. We already did it. Microsoft we did. Google we did. Let's take Amazon. Amazon's still over 180. This could be sort of that fail you look for tomorrow as well, right? Look to see if Amazon gets back under 180. Yeah, let's go over Meta. 180. Let's 180 Amazon, guys. Watch that. Meta. Yeah, Meta is you're watching to see if it fails back under this high. That's what you're watching tomorrow. You're watching to see if Meta fails back under this high right here. All right, if Meta cannot reclaim that high, you'd expect weakness right here. 515.50. If you cannot reclaim that level, go to the hourly chart. All right, if you cannot reclaim this wick rejection, that would be your look for that more downside move. Yeah, that could, guys, that could be quick. This is a gap on Meta. This is probably lower in the pre-market tomorrow, right? This is all a gap. I'd expect Meta to be probably down to, if we get a weak pre-market, I'd expect Meta down to 506 by open tomorrow. 507. Because there is nothing here to hold up Meta, all right? There's nothing here to hold up Meta. If we stay under that 515.50, you're looking at this gap fill move to 507 right here, right? And if we go, we can put back on the after hours trading. But right now, you're sitting in a gap on Meta, and I'd be shocked to see Meta hold up in this gap in the pre-market and after hours. So watch that 507 on Meta. Let's see if we can get it to hold up tomorrow to try to short through that gap. All right, guys. So looks like we're getting sort of that, after hours sort of, grind. The thing you can pray about tonight, if there's one thing that you can pray about tonight, if you want to short this market, you want to see the market up in the pre-market. That is what you are hoping for tomorrow morning. You are hoping to wake up tomorrow morning, opening your phone. The second you roll over out of your bed, you grab that phone, you look at the futures. It's the first thing you look at right when you wake up. Your eyes can barely see the screen. You are hoping to see the futures up. If you can get those futures to be up, all right, that is the good thing, right? That's what you want, because you know that there are levels above that I could watch to look for the fade, right? I know if I get a nice green pre-market and this sort of weak sort of green pre-market and we're pushing back into some supplies, I know that I can look for the refade. I do not want to wake up tomorrow and see us down, right? I don't want to see us up tomorrow, or I don't want to wake up tomorrow and see us down at 5170 demand, right? I don't want to wake up tomorrow and see us down at 18,000 demand on the NASDAQ. Let's get that pop, right? And let's look for that re-entry short. Obviously, we'll be on the live stream in the morning. We have 728 people here, and we can't press the goddamn like button, can we? We just can't do it. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tough week, man. But hey, we come back stronger. It's what we do. I hope you guys enjoy the transparency, My neighbor's really mad at their kid. Holy shit. He's yelling, and he's not happy. Press that like button, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Tough week for me in terms of, not so much in terms of losses. I'm down about 10K this week. Overall, with the year I've had, it's really just a drop in the bucket. But the tough part to live with is knowing that a lot of the things you were looking at early in the week have played out, and you just sort of got faked out. That's the thing that urges me the most. Doesn't happen often, but it did happen to me this week. So we'll make it back. I'm not concerned about that. Kid must have been long. The kid must have been long today. Yeah, that's true. He must have been long Nvidia. Ouch. Bad day to be long Nvidia. How much am I down to my shares? Let's take a look. Probably not a very pretty day for my long-term portfolio, guys. I'm going to be honest with you there. He must have been long. That's good. Oh, man, that's good. Let's take a look. Ouch. 3,100. 3,100. AMD down 8% today. Golly. But hey, we'll go here. It's all looking all right. Up 569% on Nvidia. That hurts. 152 on AMD. 83 on Microsoft. 163 Netflix. It's looking all right. All right, guys. Have a fantastic night. I'm going to play some Warzone. And pray for that green pre-market. Cheers.